Shalom Israel. First, we want to give all honor, praise, and glory to Yahawah, bahasham, yahawashi, bahasham, raka, quadash, and double honor to the elders and apostles, a GMS, great millstone, who we sharpen my iron in His truth. And shalom to hopeful like brothers out there who push His truth and honesty and sincerity. I'm going to be doing a video on some scriptures about watching your tongue, especially in the workplace. I work in the medical industry, so saying the wrong things can really affect you on a day-to-day basis. You know, and it's a displeasure because there is a scripture in Sirach, I believe, that the Lord sees all things. Your words are even seen. You know, everything that you do, think, and say, all that is accounted for before and after. Everything is known because the great power of the Lord, all right? So you really got to watch your tongue. You don't want to accidentally say the wrong thing, especially when you have the intentions to say the right thing. It says, I believe the scripture says, who have not said, but still, Shalaki, let me get it real quick. It's like, who hath thee not offended with thy tongue? Slip at the tongue. I'm getting it right now. It's Sirach 19:16. It says, there is one that slippeth in his speech, but not in his heart, for he is who hath not offended with his tongue. Right? So you could say the wrong things and still offend when you mean not to say that, right? So that's why you got to kind of be like a little cautious. I believe there's a scripture in Galatians that says, prepare thy answer, right? But that's a little on a different topic. So I'm going to get James 3:5, right? Let me pull that up right now. James 3:5, and it says, even so, the tongue is a little member and boasts great things. Behold, how great it is a matter of a little fire kindleth. Right? The tongue's the tongue's referred to scripturally as a sword, right? You know, because we wrestle not with flesh and blood, but principalities. We don't use actual weapons, right? Our weapons is this truth, this book, and it's transported through our words, right? The Lord speaketh through His prophets, pursuant to Luke 70th chapter and the 2nd verse, right? So your tongue is a very powerful thing, right? It is like it's something that you develop, and it's also something that you got to be very careful with, because if you say the wrong things at the wrong time to the wrong people to the wrong things, you know, who have ye not offended, right? And that's not really on a carnal level, because fuck what these other people think, you know, but you should still be as I think it's in Jeremiah, it says, be as wise as a serpent, as harmless as a dove, right? So you kind of got to be calculated, you know, really calculated with your words, really calculated with all the things that you do, all the things that you go about. And I'm going to get Sirach, I believe it's 32:8. And it says, let thy speech be short, comprehending much in few words. Be as one that knoweth and yet holdeth his tongue. All right, so it sounds just like how it says. Be one that knoweth yet holdeth his tongue, and comprehending much. So giving as much insight into your words in as little words as possible. I believe the elder apostle Tahar said the late apostle used to try to answer things in one word. That's impressive, and that's a very good example of honing your tongue and really getting to that level of how to use it, right? I'm gonna get Proverbs 18:21 to go into the power of the tongue, right? So Proverbs 18:21, and it says, death and life are in the power of the tongue, and they that love it shall eat the fruit thereof. All right, so the tongue, it dictates things like that, you know? A tongue, it can cause many things. If no one on this planet were to talk, like, let's get a different analogy. Say, I don't know if you guys ever seen the Boondocks, but that the episode where they had a nigga moment. You think if one of the niggas just shut up and kept walking, then there would be a nigga moment? No, but people don't hold their tongues, you know? People don't hold their tongues, and what does a nigga moment turn into, pursuant to the show? Well, it's fucking someone's locked up or shot, you know, one of the two things. I mean, that's really how it goes. Nigga, did you just step on my shoes? Nigga, did you just call me a nigga? And then that's how it goes, you know? So holding your tongue is a very powerful thing, because death and life are in the power of the tongue. So, right? And it says, I'm going to get Proverbs 15:2 to tie that in, right? Proverbs 15 and verse 2, and it says, the tongue of the wise useth knowledge right, but the mouth of fools poureth out foolishness. Right? The tongue of the wise uses knowledge right? So you know the right things to say, when to say them, who to say them to. There is a scripture that says, cast not thy pearls unto swine. I believe that's in Matthew, right? So there's so many complexities to using your tongue, and it's a skill, and it's a gift. It's a spiritual gift, right? And I mean, I'm not talking about eloquency, knowing fucking 5-syllable words to tie into some stupid statement. I'm talking about really knowing the truth and saying the right things according to the truth and of sound doctrine, right? There's a difference. Eloquency is just a matter of fucking education, because the English language is twisted no matter how you put it, right? Eloquency, it kind of goes hand in hand with whatever language that you're speaking in, right? But our true language is the Hebrew, the Paleo Hebrew, right? That's why we call on yahawah, bahasham, yahawashi. That's why the laws of Moses was given unto them in that language. So really, it doesn't even matter if you're too eloquent in the English language, because the English language is going to be done away with in the kingdom anyways, right? But what real understanding is, like, useth knowledge right. There's a knowledge is the knowledge of Yahweh, bahasham, yahawashi in these scriptures, right? This is the true knowledge, the oil, right? Let my head runneth over with oil. That's the deeper understanding of these scriptures. So you use your tongue according to that, but the foolish people, they don't. The foolish people might have eloquency to their speech, but they still don't know what the fuck they're talking about, right? You know, like, you can scroll on social media, do a quick scroll, and see a bunch of people on podcasts with big-ass mics and big-ass chairs and cushiony-ass fucking lazy boys and fucking nice pens and shit, and they're saying these super high-syllable words, and you're thinking, well, people are thinking that they know what they're talking about, but realistically, they don't, you know? There's a reason why the Lord said in Isaiah, I believe it's 16 verse 2, it says, gross darkness of people. People don't actually have any understanding of things. You know, it's the Lord's people are great from a cluster, and that's who he deals with. But it's my bad to get off topic, Salakia, but to get back on topic, with the topic of speech, you know, that what that's talking about is using knowledge right. That's the knowledge of Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahawashi. And I'm going to get 1 Peter 3 and 15. Let me go right there. It's just talking about the 15. Yeah. And this is 1 Peter 13, but says, but sanctify the Lord thy power, Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, in your hearts, and be ready to give an answer to every man that asks you for a reason of hope that is in you with meekness and fear, you know? So being able to prepare an answer. So if someone were to ask me a question about the truth, where does it say that I even had a patient? I had a patient in one of these clinics that I go to, and he told me, he said, I don't celebrate Christmas, but I mean, I guess, what'd you do for your Christmas? And I said, I don't celebrate Christmas. And then he says, oh, I tell him I don't really celebrate holidays in general. He says to me, neither do I. So I thought to myself, like, what does he know? You know, he might know a thing or two about a thing or two. So I said, yeah, I don't celebrate pagan holidays. And then he asked me, well, then what were some holidays that you would celebrate? And I told him, you know, the Passover, Shalaki, I'm having a brain fart, the Day of Atonement, you know, things like that. The biblical holidays, of course. I told him the biblical holidays to celebrate. And then he told me, you don't have to celebrate the Passover. And I told him, you got to look in Leviticus, the 23rd chapter, read the whole chapter. And then after that, you know, that's edification, you know. So preparing an answer, but I didn't use many words. I wasn't like, but I'm pretty sure, you know. So just to kind of throw a little real life example into this all, that it's actually a doable thing. But that's all I have to say. Hopefully this was edifying, and shalom to brothers out there, and finishing with all honor, praise, and glory to Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi, bahasham, raka, quadash. Shalom.